So, the death of a franchise. I'm going to talk a little bit in this video, and this is just a complete opinion piece. And it's one of the reasons why, again, I cannot fully, not that I can't fully get into American sports. Like I follow the NBA. Heck, I cover the NBA and the WNBA as a job. Like I'm somebody who basketball was my first sport. Played it at a decent enough level, and yeah, it was the main thing that I cared about for most of my freaking life. That being said, we got to talk about this because we have now seen the complete erasure of a franchise. Because the Houston Comets immediately have gone, or Houston have immediately said, oh yeah, the dynasty returns, coming back to Houston. So basically, Houston, as a franchise, was so badly mismanaged that they couldn't afford to keep the lights on and had to fold as a franchise. The Connecticut Sun, as a franchise, took over from the Orlando Miracle and saved it. They took a failing franchise and saved it. They saved the Orlando franchise. And by doing that, they were the first profitable team in WNBA history. They had a run from 2017, or realistically from the time Alyssa Thomas was drafted, until 2024, where they were one of the four best teams in the league. Multiple overall one seeds going into the playoffs. Not only were there multiple overall one seeds going into the playoffs, they made the finals in 2022. They made the finals in 2020 or in 2017. They had Jonquel Jones win an MVP. They've had multiple second and third place finishes in MVP voting in Alyssa Thomas over the years. As little as 18 months ago, they were this close to making the finals. They were a Marina Mabrey injury away from making the finals. And now none of that matters. Not only have they bought your franchise, they have taken the history of another franchise. So the Houston Comets will not be the Connecticut Sun. Because if they were, then there's some weird like way of going about it, being like, oh, where did the Houston Comets originate from? And by the way, this is a WNBA owner who, look, I'm gonna be real here. If the Atlanta Dream owner in 2020 was forced to sell their team, there's a chance that Tillman Fertitta gets forced to sell this team. At some stage, for same or similar reasons. I'm not giving my opinion on that. I'm just stating a fact that it is a possibility. But I find this is one of the most disgusting things as a sports fan, that your team can just up and move, and not only can they just up and move, their history can be completely erased. Like, you might not have a history anymore as a franchise. Like, it might just be done. So nothing that up to this point, everything that happened in those 20-something years as the Connecticut, or in the 30 years as the Connecticut Sun and the Orlando Miracle, everything they did is irrelevant because a franchise that was once very good, a person who had nothing to do with that franchise bought a different team, relocated the team, and then took the history that he had nothing to do with, and this team had nothing to do with. Like, not one bit of this organization has anything to do with the old Houston Comets. And they're taking the history of the winningest franchise in the WNBA history. Like, let's be real. Normally, when you move places, you are that franchise. Like, the Vegas Aces are the San Antonio Stars. The Minneapolis Lakers are the LA Lakers. The LA Clippers are the San Diego Clippers. The New Orleans Jazz are the Utah Jazz. The only thing we've seen similar is the the Bobcats taking the history of the Hornets, even though that franchise is actually what is the New Orleans Pelicans right now. But we have now seen a franchise that does not have a history. There is nothing of that mattered. Like, if you look at all of these teams, like, people are talking about, what about the Detroit Shock? Like, but no, they are the Dallas Wings. Like, the Detroit Shock are the Dallas Wings. They are they moved, and the Dallas Wings still has 3 rings. They still have 3 titles. They still have the history of the Detroit Shock. They won 3 titles as the Shock. So now the Houston Comets will be, if the Connecticut Sun history, by the way, if it's, they're just going to have the Connecticut Sun history, Then therefore, in the year of 2000, from up until 2008, there were 2 Houston Comets in the WNBA if they're taking a different team's history. And for me, I'm okay with taking the name. I just think this whole it is what it is. I just think this whole bullshit relocation, stealing a team from a state is awful. I think it's terrible for sport. I think it is terrible because how the hell could you be a fan of any of these teams? I mean it. How could you be a fan of any of these teams? I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get how. If I was a fan of the Connecticut Sun, I was from Connecticut, you're not suddenly going to be a fan of the Houston team. And I'm not going to lie, I wouldn't be a fan of any team. I'd just say, fuck this league. Because that's basically the best way to describe this. It's at this stage, you're just looking at it, it's what is the point? What is the point of being a fan? What is the point of caring about anything? What is the point of giving a damn about the sport? What's the point of giving a damn about the fans? What's the point of giving a damn about these players if on any given day the owner might just say, okay, yeah, we're going to sell this team, and the league are going to say, oh yeah, you actually can't sell the team to keep it there. If you want to sell this team, you have to bring it to, let's just say, I don't know, let's just say hypothetically they're like, you know what, we want to bring back, I don't know, I was trying to think off the top of my head, we want a team in X, Y, or Z, or we want another team in Canada. We want a team in Vancouver. So therefore, Vancouver didn't win the expansion, but we promised them this team. So therefore, we're no matter what, if your owner wants to sell the team, and you're in a market that we don't like, okay, cool. If you're in a market we don't like, you're just not going to be able to sell it. It's going to be sold and it's going to be moved anyway. And it is the weirdest thing in American sports, and I fucking hate it. And I'm not saying, there shouldn't be a team in Houston. I'm saying you give them an expansion team. Give them an expansion team. Just because you promised them the next round of expansion doesn't mean you have to literally steal a team from another state or an entire area. And by the way, the Connecticut will never get another team again because they won't give Connecticut a team because they're giving a team to Boston. So they won't give Connecticut. They wanted to get rid of the team in Connecticut so that they could add the team in Boston, and they wouldn't feel like, there's too many teams in a small catchment area. That's literally it. They just wanted to give a team. They wanted the team out of Connecticut. And then obviously by putting in the minimum standard requirements, they kind of fast tracked the team leaving Connecticut. It's awful. It's actually awful. I feel bad for the fans from Connecticut. Why would you, if you're a fan of Connecticut Sun, why would you, I wouldn't, people are like, let's get behind the team for one more year. Why the fuck would you do that? Just putting it out there. Why would you do that? Let's support a team because we're not going to have a WNBA team after this year. Why the fuck would you support the team then? This team's leaving and going away after a year. We're never going to see WNBA games in Connecticut. Fuck that shit. You can just go to New York. Become a fan of the Liberty and plan out to go once a year to the Liberty or something. Or just leave the league entirely. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do that. There are so many things wrong with the whole franchising system with sports teams because that's not what sport is. There's a reason why. There's a reason why in America people are fans of their college teams. Could you imagine if, I don't know, if you were a fan of the University of North Carolina and somehow the college got sold to a private company and they moved the University of North Carolina to they were like, it actually works better for sports. Or let's just say hypothetically even for the university, actually we want to move University of North Carolina to a bigger market for college sports. So actually we're gonna make the sport team play out of New York. Could you imagine if they did some bullshit like that? It's awful. It's actually awful. And I'm saying this as a fan of Leeds United Football Club. Leeds obviously is would be a big enough market in England. But it's could you imagine if your team just got, I couldn't even imagine my team getting moved. And if the team got moved, it would be like what MK Dons is. Literally nobody cares about them in football. That's the only time I can remember somebody treating their team like a franchise. It's the only time I can remember any team in a league that's not American like treating a team like completely like it's a franchise. And maybe there are South American teams where that happens. There are teams somewhere else, and maybe it's the very European mindset of it. But like, it's the whole franchising system. I hate it. I fucking hate it. And for me, there's a reason why. Like, you will never see fans showing up 20 minutes late for games like you do in anywhere else in the world, like you do with the Miami Heat. You will never see stuff like that. You will never see, like, again, like, there's so little. There's a reason why college sports has actual fans in America. Because it's not it's not some bullshit franchise system. These people are actually fans of actual teams. But yeah, anyway, that is pretty much it, lads. That is the video. I will see you guys.